Hello, hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday and making sure I'm live everywhere. So I am live on. Hold on, let's turn this light on. I am live on. Where are we live at? We're live on AJaytheCEO.com. We're on YouTube, Vimeo, and Facebook. So we're everywhere. Alright, so there is a delay here, so that's cool. So I just want to make sure I'm seeing everything. Welcome, guys. This is episode 17 of Church Post Production, where we go over how to do all the stuff that we do in editing, video editing, posting to social media, and all that other fun stuff. Here, I am your host, AJ Holmes, AJ the CEO, and pretty much thank y'all for stopping by. I'm doing this a little bit earlier than usual because I need to cook dinner, so I want to knock this out while I have some free time right now. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. This is where I normally walk you through what I do from after the church service is over to do video editing and stuff like that for church, as well as social media posts and all that other fun stuff. And I'm on chat on Facebook, on this computer, well, on this monitor, and then on this monitor I have YouTube chat. So I'm here. I can see if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, or want to tell me about how your day was at church. I hope it was great. I have a video that's coming. I actually did a behind the scenes of church, but then I got called to another client, so I had to leave my church, go to their church, help them out, then come back. And pastor was off the cuff today, so we kind of went in a different direction. So I don't really even remember. I don't know how the service went in the order, that is. I know we normally do our announcements that we did yesterday and how to make video announcements live, where I showed you that process, me doing that, as well as I actually showed you the end result and walked you through all of that. So I know that was at the end, but I really don't know how the flow of the service is. But we're going to go ahead and make everything like we normally do. So I have my screen split. I'm going to try and do all my editing on one screen so that I don't have to keep jumping all over the place today. So let me switch over to here and get all set up. And let me bring my camera there so you can see me. All right. Hopefully I will not be in the way so that you can see. But let me drop this some. Maybe I can move it so I'm guaranteed to not be in the way. All right, I think that's going to be good. I don't have the green screen set up today. So anyway, we're here in DaVinci Resolve, and make sure if you're using DaVinci Resolve, there is a new announcement that's coming out there. If I can bring up a browser real quick and go to Blackmagic, they're going to be announcing something tomorrow at 9 a.m., which is noon my time, East Coast. So they're talking about a new version of DaVinci Resolve 16. So I'm looking forward to that. If it's a video, I might see if I can live stream that at the same time while that's going on. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for that, but hey, I'll ask first, but I'll let y'all know. So I'm excited about that to see what they got. All right, so we're here in DaVinci Resolve, but what we need to do is move over all of our data here. So now if you followed me, I installed an NVMe drive to make my computer go significantly faster in editing, and I actually installed a second one as well. So this is the second one. So let me come out here, and I need to, the whole workflow of what I'm doing now is I'm actually installing all my video work, the current project, on this drive, and then I move it all over to my storage when I'm done. So actually I meant to move these yesterday. Oh, no. Let's do it this way. And paste. So we'll move that over there. While that's moving in the background, we're going to make a new folder here. Current, need to be capitalized. Current projects. Alright, so in here, this is where I have my, where's my other drive? I just moved over. I have the media drive from our HyperDeck Studio Mini, where we record our entire service. So let's go ahead and move that over here to our current project. And I guess I should have moved this before, so you can actually, this would have been faster. Let me pause this so I can speed this one up. And that's going to be about 5 minutes, so I don't know about that. Well, let's go ahead and eat up some time. So I've been talking to y'all that we are remaking our website a lot cleaner and stuff like that. I showed that to a couple of people in the media ministry, and I'll just give y'all a little taste of what we're doing. We're going from Squarespace over to a WordPress theme site, and it's pretty cool because of all of the features that it allows us to expand. So I'm putting it together. It's not ready to go live yet, but just how we're doing stuff makes it a lot cleaner. Our sermons are there. I had the template data there from when I bought the theme from Envato Theme Forest. I always encourage them, so I'm not just telling y'all about the stuff. I actually use the stuff there as well. And we actually have moved over to Bluehost, and you'll see that in the description. You can get a discount for running your website there, and you help with the channel here. And I'm seeing a little performance glitch on my stream. Not really sure why that's happening. Know what I need to do? I'm gonna be recording this anyway, so I'll upload this again if the performance is all over the place. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, so here on the website we have our blog, which shows here our announcements. We have our social media links to all of our pages, our sermons there. I am adding on to our ministries here. This is still data that came with the theme, so it helps me on how it's supposed to look, how the data is supposed to be formatted and stuff like that. So upload the demo data so I get something to compare it to, and I'm adding my stuff there. So real simple. This is a gallery, so this is honestly like the layout of what I'm doing on our page in comparison to what it used to be. But again, it's based off what I found when we did our website, that our ministry pages aren't that active. Certain ministries use them, so I do that, but a lot of stuff I don't need to put a lot of effort into those pages. I can easily turn it on if somebody wants that. We have our live stream page here, and I can add some other stuff. What I'm going to do is actually add the chat function in here, so when from a media ministry, when we're watching, we can actually see what people are chatting about at the same time in one place instead of bouncing all over the place. So that's always cool. Here are all the elements of what we can add. I'm going to be adding a contact form, maps, call to action, all that other stuff inside of here as well. The next event is what you saw on the front page, because I used to actually have to use a plugin, a free plugin, to add a countdown clock when we start live streaming. And sorry, that was a bad page. This stuff is all going to be gone away when I actually have everything set up. So I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah, so all those other pages I need to get rid of. This countdown clock is built in. So once I add an event, everything will host there. And I mean, it's really cool. And I really do not know, my stream that's going on to YouTube is like going up and down. I'm not sure why that is. Oh well, like I said, I will upload a clean version of this when everything is done. So with that, actually, let me go ahead and start recording this as well too, just in case. I can splice these two together. And was that enough time of me stalling? Because I'm trying to wait for this stuff to copy over. Giving stuff here that's tied to our current Vanco page of how we accept tithes and offerings online. Here's our events page, which will be quote unquote our church calendar. All right, so that's copied. I wasn't expecting that to pop up like that. Let me start this so I can finish copying. So that's going significantly faster. Yay. So these are the only two events I have right now. This was today. So the good thing is I just got to come in here and update this to next week. And then this, if this is the most recent event, closest event that's happening next, it will automatically populate on the front page. What I was saying is, if I go to our old website, this countdown clock was a free plugin that I had to add and update every single Sunday after service. So the idea is I'm going to add this on here. I add the event, it will automatically do that. So that's one less step of what I would have to do. And give me 1 second because I'm going to stop this stream. It was only a couple of seconds. Let me confirm I'm still alive. Okay, cool. I'm still alive. Got it in time. All right, so I mean, it's just all about consolidating a lot of the stuff that's in place. So just like I have galleries and stuff, the sermons are already there. This stuff is already posted. The only thing I need to do is add our music and video stuff. And all of this information is already going to be transferred over my way through and updating everything. But the response so far from the people who've seen the site is that they like it, and especially from a media responsibilities of what we do, it's actually made it a lot easier in how we do stuff. But anyway, enough about that. So I will be adding to both of these when I do the end of this video here. So let's go ahead and close out of this, and since all my stuff is copied over, we're back here to DaVinci Resolve. We're going to go to our services folder. And we're going to do a new project for today. So it's the first Sunday in April. Like I said, I need to change this because I'm going to do this on one screen, which is going to be fun. Dual screen is off. And I'll leave it in full screen. Alright, so I want to give myself full access to all the stuff I normally do. See, this will make stuff really tight, but you'll be able to see everything here, and I don't need to make this full. Alright, so what do we do for everybody who's followed with this before? Let's go to media and let's import everything. Like I said, we have it in our cache drive, which is here, our current project. We're going to drag the video over first, change the frame rate. It should be at 30, yes, because that was, if I'm going to tag this in the video, that's when we used the up-down converter to convert this to a signal that our projectors can handle. But also this converter is handing over to our recorder and our live stream. So for whatever reason, it was out of sync when we were running this to our projectors. So instead, we used that up-down cross converter just for our recording and live streaming purposes. And then the projectors inside the sanctuary are getting a direct connection from the switcher, so there's no delay, because that up-down converter adds, I think, a frame or two, and that's where you start getting the kung fu flick of the words and the audio not matching what actually everybody's doing. All right, So in this project as well, we're going to make some, we don't really need to do this, but we would add lower thirds here. And we could also do graphics. This is just if you want to keep everything organized. I think I should be good with the way it is. But what I'm also going to do is add the graphic of this, of what we have been posting, because that's the theme that we're working towards, making sure everybody likes, subscribe, and share. And that's tied to the YouTube growth strategy video that I talked about before. Now we're going to go here. To our Antioch folder, we need to add our intro outro, which is going to be graphics. And for our lower thirds, the choir, it was the senior choir today. And Pastor Sells preached today. We bring his lower third as well. And let's just confirm that. Here's our inventory list of all of our sermons. All right, so this is all the information that we're going to be adding to for this Sunday. So we got everything that we need, but we'll come back to that. Because again, we're making new thumbnails. Remember how we talked about that? And I'm going to cheat a little bit because I was saying I ended up getting Photoshop because I needed that for business, for more stuff outside of what I do for Canva. So I was going to do this, but I'm going to stick to the stuff that y'all can follow, doing the exact same thing for making our thumbnail. Because again, that was another part of our YouTube growth strategy on how we're doing thumbnails. So I'm going to come back in here and modify this, but what I'm going to do is come in here. Let's make a copy. And we're going to change the title of this to 04/07/2019. So we'll come back to this and make this later. Close that. All right, we're here. So let's go ahead to the edit tab. And I like to change this so we can see tabs here. And I don't need thumbnails on everywhere. So now, where's my media pool? Right there. Here's our media pool. And what we want to do is Control N. We want to do full. This is when we're making our full service. Create. Another Control N. This is for online, which is going to be used for our podcast as well too. And I was going to go back and switch back to something, but I was having a couple of issues with our podcast where I used to do audio only coming out of DaVinci Resolve, so I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it the old way, where I make the video, then pull the audio out of that, but that's not a big deal. All right, so we do all our work in the full timeline because we have the entire thing, and then we can just take out what we need. So let's get started with our graphics. We're going to do our intro outro on track 2. Zoom in a little bit. Oh, this is where I change the thumbnails. Got 1 second fade out on the video channel, 1 second fade out on the audio. Put our cursor right there. Press the M key or press this little one button right here to make a marker. So it's going to link everything there to it. Now let's go to our video. Now I'm going to skip forward a little bit because they didn't start praise and worship for a little bit. So alright, so I'm going to start right there. And actually, I am not sure where everything stopped. So it actually stopped after tithes, and I don't believe we did announcements here. Yeah, so the announcements weren't added into this just because of, I guess, they stopped the recording. Let me make sure. All right, so yeah, so the announcements weren't added on here. All right, so I might need to add those at the end. So let me go back to the media and let me add in the announcements that we made yesterday. And that's there. All right. So I'm going to add that to the end and then do our outro. So, all right, I'm just going to bring in the video of the entire service. We're going to fade that in for 1 second. And now we're just going to spot check where the choir is. All right, so that's number 1. Let's put senior choir right there. Let's just glance over it to make sure everything's working. Let me turn the volume down here. Can you read it clearly? I might need to change that to about right here, because then it's easier to see. All right, cool. So now I'm just jumping through that and just dragging that. Now again, that lower third, just like the other day, is from a package that I got from Video Hive from Invatu, and actually that one was actually free. It came out, it was a free offering that came with the month of all the products that they always share. And actually, let me cut back over here just so y'all can always see what I'm talking about. So here, Invatu Market, I go to videohive.net. They own them all. You can go to one. But these are the free items that they give. So this is actually a stop motion intro. Might use that for an announcement one day because that looks pretty cool. And then that still image of a green tree python, if you might wanted to use that. There's code, there's 3D objects, there's music, there's a HTML website theme here, and there's another kind of like a graphic that you can use with Photoshop. It makes it look like a fairy tale or something like that. So these are the things that they come out with that you can sign up for. That it's free. You can buy the stuff or just sign up, and they come out with new ones every month. And I've been on this for about 2.5 years, and I've got a huge collection of these, enough to where I have a whole folder full of them. So like just from Video Hive, all of those are ones that came out for free, and also some that I may have bought. Anyway, let's jump back ahead here. That's the end of here. That's the band playing. Past the sales. Let me put his lower third up here right now. All right, now he's talking really low. So what I want to do is press the B key for the razor, splice this, and I want to cut it again to where the volume is low. So about to right here, because he jumped ahead in what was going on today. So I'm going to stop it right here. And this whole section, I'm going to go to Inspector, and let's go full screen with here. And I'm going to click on this section. And now I want to change the audio. Let's do that +5. And can you still hear it? All right, let's do 7. 10. All right, so that's fine for right now. All right, the idea is don't want to drag this on too much, because we don't want this to take forever and a day to do this. So that's the choir singing. All right. So when everybody starts clapping, it gets a lot louder because the mics are just more sensitive. All right, volume is low yet again right here. All right, so let's cut right here, and we want to boost the audio in between this gap right here as well. This one, I'm going to change that to about 10. And I might actually need to bump this up to like 15. Alright, so let me drag this back here, because that's after that part. And the choir is actually right here. That's Miss Bullock. That's my adopted mom right there. And we're going to put the senior choir right there again. Now this is where it's one of those times where I want to get an environmental mic, because right now Pastor Sales did not have on his wireless, so I would have to bump up the audio so much to hear this, because the idea is I don't want people to have to change their volume multiple times while they're listening to this. So let's do that as 10. So this is one that I'm going to send this to the music ministry and try and tell them we really need. So I can hear Skipper because he's fine on the saxophone because it's a directional instrument. But the organ, it looks like the organ was probably muted in the sound system, so you can't even hear them. And this is just tips I got to write down. I need my notepad so I can actually write this stuff down so we can adjust that stuff. So like, and this is one of those moments where I had to make sure somebody noticed where the camera was because they were off cuff here. Alright, one more time we'll add the senior choir there. And again, you don't necessarily have to do this. And I think right here is where the sermon is going to start. And just to let y'all know, I am on chat on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Alright, so right here, let's make a cut right here. This is going to be the sermon. And Pastor Sales, the way he works, he starts soft and works up. So learn the audio profile of whoever's preaching at your church, so that way you know how the editing is going to work. So he got really loud right here, so I know I'm going to have to throttle him back and edit, but then enhance him as well too. So you can barely hear him right here. See right there, that's when he got a little bit. So let's come in here. And actually, let me do this. Let's change the color so that way we know which section is going to be for online only. That's where that first cut was. This first cut right here is for the entire service, but then from everything that's orange is just for our podcast, as well as the just putting the sermon up itself. All right, so let's go here. Let's bump this volume up. Let's say that's 10. All right, so let's boost this one. Oh, let's make another cut here. So right about here, we can boost this signal, the audio here one more time. This one I'll say, let's boost that to, see 5 is too much. 2. And I'm gonna just do a little fade in between there, so that way it's a sounds like it's a nice transition. All right, and then he drops back down again. You could be free. All right, so that's all right. So he got softer right there. So what I want to do is make a cut right here and a cut again. To about right here. So this is actually at the end of the sermon. So like I said, this is kind of off cuff. So I don't really need to do all of the orange here. I just need to find exactly where the sermon ends. All right, that's all right. So what I'm going to do is actually cut the end of the sermon right there. So what I'm going to do, cut it right here. Let's enhance this volume one more time. And then all of this is the sermon. Now from here, this is just regular, so I don't need to keep that color. All right, so I'm gonna cut this because, like I said, the announcements weren't here, and this is meant for us to share with other folks as well too. So I'm gonna splice the announcements. To those welcome visitors. Mike's part. All right, you can't hear anyway right here. So let's boost this section up in audio. All right, so I'm gonna fade it right there because we're talking about doing tithes and offering, and then right after that, it actually ends. They ended it, the recording anyway. So what we're gonna do is get rid of that section here, and then what we're gonna do, hear how it goes. So boom, right there. I'm gonna press M to make a marker. And what we're gonna do is pull over our video announcement right here. Let's fade that out for 1 second. Audio out for 1 second. Actually, I can fade it out longer than that. Fade this audio in for 1 second. So now, and this is the final result of what we did when we were making our announcements live. All right. So when that comes out, so what I want to do here is add our graphic to where we're ending our outro right here. Let me put it right here. And I want to get it before we fade to this. So it's right there. And actually, let me do this backwards here. Do it this way. So this will fade in right on top of that. And the audio the same way. So when it comes out, probably move it a little bit more. No, I gotta move it because I don't want that logo right there. Still gotta move it up some more. But let's fade this a little bit more. I'll do is drag the audio here a little bit more. Alright, cool. So we got what we needed from here. Now, because it was kind of, the only thing we got to go back is we didn't do lower thirds for the sermon. And the rule of that is you want one close to the beginning, close to the end, and then another one sometime in the middle. So let's put one right about here. Another one right about here. And then another one right here in the center. So we want to make sure they show up fine. All right. All right, now definitely I missed this one. We gotta enhance the audio right here because you can't hear anything. Let's boost that up to 9, 12. All right, so that's good. And let's check the last one.
Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus.
All right, cool. So we got this whole section here is our sermon. So let's highlight everything that's in the region of orange. Let's go to our online. Bring our intro, outro onto track 2. Let's zoom in a little bit, easy to see. Fade in, fade out for 1 second. Fade out again. Put our cursor right there, make a marker. Then we're just gonna paste. And it put us right there where our marker was. We're gonna fade the audio in for 1 second. Just confirm it. All right, and now we just go to the end and do the exact same thing. Intro, outro. One second. Let's drag this to right here. Marker. Boom. Fade that out for a sec. Let me fade it in for 1 second. All right. Let's see how much faster that was that you do everything in the full instead of doing it twice. All right. So now we already got everything prepped. All we got to do is go to deliver. Let's pick our online first because that's always going to go faster. And whatever you call the timeline carries over to the file name. That makes it easier. So then we just do an underscore, today's date. We're going to put it on our rated SSDs. They'll go a little bit faster. I'm going to keep it at a high bit rate. Well, no. Let's do that down to about half of that. To about 5,000. Alright, and then we pick over to full. Do the same thing. 7. This is for our on-demand service, as well as if somebody asks for a DVD, I will make this, use this file to make the DVD. Do that at 5,000 as well. Save it, and we're gonna just select both of them, and then start to render. So that's gonna go through it first, and then what I'm gonna do, we have SoundForge. This is the old program that I said before, and for whatever reason, it's missing my registration for some odd reason. Cut over here so y'all don't see my info. I don't know why I did that. The only thing I did was change my hard drive, and then that's why it was, I guess it detected some type of change. So anyway, when this comes in, I'm just going to take the same message, embed this stuff into the audio track that's made. What I'm embedding is the speaker, the date, and the title, because that will carry over when we send it to a podcast without having to really type the name. It'll just pull the name from the file. All right. So, and I actually already had one of our media people go through this. This was adding our stuff to our new website. So we log in here, and we would go to new sermon. And see, this is the draft that was already made, which makes it really simple. I'm going to actually add a tag I forgot to tell her about. Add pastor. That just helps with the search. And we're literally just typing scripture, the word scripture, the scriptures, and then when our video link is uploaded, we're going to copy the link here, and then we're going to upload the audio file right here. And I still need to connect everything to our podcast. So I'm going to do that so that we don't miss a gap when we go from Squarespace over to this one. But that's literally it. I need to, oh, I forgot to make a picture. That's what I forgot to do. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to the full file. And I'm going to skip forward to the place where the sermon is. Now I want to get remember from the tips, we want to get something that has a close-up. So this one might be good. We're going to make sure everybody is in decency and order behind them.
I know what they're going to do to me.
So I need to find a... Turn that volume down. And I need to remember what the sermon title was, because I want to find something that's kind of appropriate to that. Get out of his way. All right, so this is a good one right here. So I'm just going to do a print screen here. And now that I got that, let's go ahead and open up Paint, paste, and see we're getting all this extra stuff here. I did take a picture of the picture I had. Print screen. There it goes. Alright, so that's a good shot. What we're going to do is, and actually I'm going to crop out a lot of the people who are in this. but let's just actually use the full image here. Let's crop that, and we're gonna save that as today. And now we'll close that. Let's go ahead and go to Canva for us to make that template that we did earlier. So here's the copy. We already got the colors, we got the text size, we got all that. So now all we got to do is let's upload that image that we literally just did. And it's so big that we have a lot of playroom to do with this. So since the bar was on, no, actually, I need to keep the bar on this side if I forgot, because I like to alternate them. All right, so let's go ahead and just drag this image so it becomes the new background. And we need to play with this one so that we have some more room. So let's zoom out a little bit. I want this picture to take up way more space. Do that to about right there. And I might need to do some other stuff. So, I mean, that works fine. So let's go ahead and take our title, capitalized of, and we're just going to come in here. All right, so that's good. Let's copy that, and we already had our shadow in place, so let's just take the exact same text and we're gonna slide it down just a little bit, and let's move this one so we have our shadow effect. And why is that off? I have some spaces in here. All right, and we're going to move past this name up a little bit. All right, and I'm thinking about putting a date on here, but I think this is fine. All right, so this is what we're going to use for our thumbnail going forward for this service. All right, and the good thing about it is I was getting ready to think I need to store this stuff as well on my drive, but I don't because it's already here. So the old one, give it a second and it'll update. But under here, I would come in here, change our featured image for this sermon to the image that we just made. And just like that, the sermon has already been rendered. I love the Ryzen, so much faster. So I'm not going to attempt to upload this right now because it's going to tank our live streaming, but I'm going to wrap this up here in a second. But let me walk through how we're going to make our audio again, because I haven't done it in a while. So we're going to go to our audio here. Give it a second. We get our title one more time. Let it sync up. And we're going to go to save as. It's an MP3. I'm gonna save it to my E drive. It's easier to find. And then I'm gonna go to custom. This is where I'm gonna go to the ID3 settings. That's where I'm gonna put the title, name, the date, day first, then month. And that's it. Save. It's exporting that. So while it's exporting that, let's go to our current website. Hey cousin, thanks for joining me. I see you. All right, we're going to go to pages, and again, we've already added this. So we go to podcast. This is the one that was made. All I have to do is come in here, hyphen, come here, edit, and all right, it's already been made. If I can close that, we're just going to upload the MP3. And similarly here, we upload the MP3 here for our new website as well. And I can have this linked to our SoundCloud account, any other place is built in. I'm trying to keep the cost down of what we're doing. I don't want to accrue more expenses, but and you'll see once this is done, it just added all the info that we embedded. All right, we hit apply, and let me go back here. See, in podcasting, I could add this. I used to add this, but I noticed over the time it takes this information anyway, so I don't need to populate that. I'm gonna do sermons and put his name there, and then we just do save and publish. Boom, that podcast is now going to show up on iTunes and Google Play in about an hour. All right, and then in the same way, we're going to go to our online media. This is how we add the new sermon here, and this part isn't going to be done until I actually upload this to our Vimeo and YouTube channels. That's where I get the link to do this. But that's again where I'm going to use that image that we just made in Canva. And when I'm done, I'm going to copy over the links here. So from my list, the podcast is done. These two are going to be, actually I can start. I'm not doing it right now just because it's a live stream, which again, YouTube is tanking over here. I don't know why. Now it's back up. But I'm going to go through these and copy these links here, which is what I'm going to use to put in our new website. So that will be hosted right there. I'm going to find another place, but like I said, I could upload this to SoundCloud here, and I might go down that path. Don't know, because I think SoundCloud might do podcast publishing as well, which will save me some time as well. But for right now, like I can publish this right now because the audio is there. So once I publish this, we'll have the image and everything that we just did. And if we go look at that, because on the old website I have to do it in two places, and this one I only have to do it in one. So since the audio is there, see the audio showing up right here. So this is just pointing back to itself right now because I don't have a YouTube link yet. But again, all of this is going to be embedded in one place. So that's why I'm liking where this is going right now. So that's about it. because all the other stuff I need to upload, so it's gonna tank my performance here if I do that. So that's about it, guys. Look out for videos coming up this week. I was doing some behind the scenes stuff today at church, but like I said, some of it got tanked. And be on the lookout. I am on chapter 2 of my Modern Media Ministry Made Easy book. So be on the lookout for that. Finally getting a chance to get back and to finish that book up. So look out for that. I will make an announcement about that. And I'm sure we're going to be doing some stuff this week, talking about more about our website and some other tips, tricks, and trainings and strategies of whatever we're going to do for media ministry. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Again, my name is AJ, and we will see you. I didn't switch over here. We will see you on the next video. Later.